What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson here. We finally made it. It's regular season kickoff week. The Bulls will kick off the NBA regular season for themselves on Wednesday night at the United Center against the Detroit Pistons. The NBA slate for the regular season will actually get underway tomorrow night with a couple games. To start today's show, I want to get to not the most exciting news if you're a Bulls fan. I know I was super optimistic about him coming out of his strong Summer League performance, but the Bulls have released Yuki Kawamura. They released him on Friday night due to a medical condition. Kawamura had been sidelined with lower leg pain. That's a really unfortunate turn of events for a Summer League standout who really showed some promising signs for the Chicago Bulls. He had been a spark plug in his previous NBA stint as well with the Memphis Grizzlies. So this was a guy who brought a lot of excitement to this organization. It's a shame to see him go, but wish him the best of luck there. The Bulls, signing him to that two-way deal after his strong performance in the Summer League, replacing Jahmir Young, who the organization also liked a ton. If you guys remember way back in the summer, Jahmir Young and Yuki Kawamura were battling it out for that final two-way contract there. Jahmir Young had a monster Summer League as well, so kind of crazy to see this turn of events for Yuki. The Bulls now have a two-way vacancy. It isn't expected to be filled by the signing of Mac McClung. He had a previous Windy City stint there, so he's expected to be with the G League affiliate. I know Mac McClung with the dunk contest previous to his NBA career. The title there, he's a very exciting piece as well that we're going to see play for the Windy City organization. Who knows if he's going to get a shot with the big league club, but wanted to start today's show with that news on Yuki. Kind of switching gears, kind of spinning off of that actually. Trenton Flowers, Friday, following that Yuki news and the addition of Mac McClung, He's expected, McClung's expected, like I said, to be with Windy City. Chicago also signed forward Trenton Flowers to a two-way NBA deal now. Flowers played 6 games for the Clippers last year as a rookie after averaging 20 points in the G League there. The Clippers had waived Flowers earlier last week. He'd also been on a two-way deal with them. So just another two-way signing there following Yuki Kawamura's release there. So we'll look at Trenton Flowers more in detail as we move through the next few weeks of this show. We got big league NBA basketball starting as well, so we'll shift our focus to that more so, but we'll keep an eye on what happens next with this Bulls roster moving forward. Some really unfortunate news in addition to Yuki's release, but Zach Collins, the Bulls announced Saturday morning that he underwent successful surgery Friday to repair a non-displaced fracture in his left wrist. Really unfortunate there. He will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. It is said, and I'll get to this in a little bit, but that he injured that wrist on a fall in that final preseason contest against the Timberwolves. So really big blow for the Bulls. He will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Having Jalen Smith, though, is big in terms of the backup role. I spoke of this in my last episode here, but Jalen Smith has the ability to really fill a void now with the Chicago Bulls. One was that was not really expected to be there with the absence of Zach Collins now for the next couple of weeks. I think there's some positive news in having him as a backup there and his ability to really produce in that role there. There was also some more positive news for the Bulls. Saturday, Kobe White did practice. Billy Donovan said last week the team is going to use the time between the preseason finale against Minnesota and the regular season opener to put him through contact and ramp him up. Assuming no setbacks, Kobe is expected to play in the regular season opener against Detroit there. Billy Donovan said Kobe White, quote, looked good. He went through most of contact Saturday. The plan is to increase contact today after a day off yesterday on Sunday. So looking to increase his contact today. We'll get you guys an update on him tomorrow ahead of the regular season opener there. Donovan also spoke to Zach Collins. He said he experienced swelling post-game Thursday, which is ultimately why he underwent that follow-up testing that revealed a small fracture. So they wanted to take care of that. early and get that surgery done so he can be back at the early portion of the season. Hopefully, he suffered that injury again while bracing his fall after taking a charge from Julius Randle in that preseason finale against Minnesota. So, Billy would go on to express confidence in Jalen Smith, but acknowledge the loss of Collins being significant for the physicality aspect and the rim protection and screening that he provides. And I think that this, as you guys can all probably look back at his preseason performance thus far and how he ended last year after being dealt here after that LaVine trade, or as part of that LaVine trade, Zach Collins is a very impactful player in this Bulls rotation. Billy Donovan really does use him and expect a lot of him. So hopefully he gets well soon and recovers well from that minor wrist procedure there in the next couple of weeks. We'll certainly keep an eye on him and monitor his return there as well. That's a guy who I think is going to be a very impactful player for this Bulls team this year still. So kind of wrapping things up today with a season preview, another one that we're just a couple days away now from the Bulls kicking off the regular season. Starting it with the Bulls, meager 6.1% chance to make the playoffs. The Bulls aren't given much of a shot to make the postseason, and it kind of spins off of their projected win total being somewhere around 32.5 wins. I think this analytics has the Bulls at 32.7 wins this year. That's my strongest betting play for this Bulls team this year is the over on the win total. I really suggest if you guys want to play the Chicago Bulls on a long-term future, a future bet of some sort, play the over on the Bulls wins. I think they're going to blow that number out of the water with the talent that this team has and with the kind of the schedule, the way it lines up. I think there's a lot of games to be won in a weaker Eastern Conference following a lot of these injuries to big-name players this year on that side of the conference. So, kind of going over the biggest thing we'll be talking about this year in this season preview is going to be the development of Matas Buzelis. Matas has shown the most upside of the collection of young guys that this team has, and it's no secret. He showed that in the Summer League. This guy could be a perennial superstar in this league. I think he is going to be. I'm willing to bet on that. I think Matas Buzelis is going to be a fixture in this league for years to come. So we'll continue to follow him this year. That's an exciting piece for Bulls fans as it's finally, he just turned, I believe, 21 years old. This guy is such a young ball player. He has so much potential in terms of his ability, and his growth as a player could be immaculate this year, and hoping that is the case there. Going off of the Bulls' biggest strength, it's something I've talked about really dating back to the summer, looking at last year's team, is the pace that this ball club plays with. I think their ability to run and gun and the players that they have with the ability to do so is a strength that could be used and really could outperform teams in terms of how fast they play, kind of wearing teams down on a regular basis. So I do view that as one of the Bulls' biggest strengths moving into this season as well. Of course, the biggest concern, it's one that I've talked about a ton, but the Bulls' lack of direction, which way they're going to go. Now it's finally coming to the light, some of the development of the young players that the Bulls have brought along. It's looked a lot better than it has in previous years under this regime. So at least we're getting there in terms of some sort of direction, but you would like to see them, if they're going to go all in on winning, add some veteran talent next summer, really go in on some of these free agents, spend the money. I think they have to do that and pick a direction. Now, you have some big decisions looming with players you currently have in your roster as well, like Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White, who we talked about a ton in their contract situations. So I just think that is the biggest concern. I'm sure a lot of Bulls fans can agree, but the lack of direction of this organization, it's been that way for some time now. Hopefully we can get out of that question soon here and really start to win some ball games and push this Bulls franchise towards relevance again in the NBA. I think that's an exciting thing for Bulls fans to look forward to. I think a bold prediction from me this year, I think Josh Giddey could flirt or will flirt with averaging a triple-double this year. I think he has the ability to do that. I think he is that strong of a player all around. He had numerous triple-doubles last year. Only 5 players in NBA history have averaged at least 9 assists and 9 rebounds per game in a season. Looking at those 5 guys, you have Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic. What company there. Those are 5 of the best players this league has ever seen. So, that's pretty crazy to think that he is challenging to be in that company. I think look out for Josh Giddey, another stellar year coming off his contract. Now he's locked up by Chicago. Put that distraction away a while ago. I think he's ready for a big year. I think a number to watch if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. This is one that I pulled from some data analytics that I did. 21.1. The Bulls ran 21.1 transition possessions per game last season. That's the most of any team in a season since player tracking began in the 2013-2014 season. So look for the Bulls to really up the tempo and continue to play with pace this year. I think that that's going to be a positive for this ball club, and they can use that as leverage with how quick they can play. I'm telling you guys, I think you're going to see that a lot more often with this team playing with pace, continuing to build off of that from last year. And I think the pieces that they brought in both via the draft, I think Noah Senge has the ability in the minutes that he's going to see. I think, again, they're going to be limited with him early on. I think they're really going to ease him into his NBA role, but that's another guy who could play with pace, and his ability to draw fouls is immaculate. I think this guy gets to the line, has the ability to get to the line at a whole nother level. I really didn't realize it as he came over to the NBA here, but this guy is a huge piece to what the Bulls can do and playing with pace this coming year in the minutes that he's going to get. Hopefully he has an expanded role going forward. We'll continue to look at that as well, but look at that number as we move into this season. 21.1 transition possessions per game last year. Hopefully the Bulls can build off of that. Kind of wrapping up, just another piece of big NBA news to cap off this show today. Kevin Durant has signed a 2-year, $90 million extension with the Houston Rockets. Again, I gave this out a while ago to you guys, but I widely expect the Houston Rockets to come out of the Western Conference this year. Yes, I know they had that big blow with the injury to Fred VanVleet, but I think that Houston team is so well oiled that I think they're going to win a lot of ball games in a strong Western Conference, and they have the perennial MVP candidate Kevin Durant joining them now, locking him up for the next couple of years with that monster $90 million number attached to it. Watch out for that Rockets team. You guys already know I like Orlando to come out of the East as well. So Orlando and Houston, two teams to watch. I do expect the Bulls, though, moving into this season to win a lot of ball games early on. Hopefully they put themselves in a good enough spot before that February trade deadline where things can get dicey. You never know what this Bulls brass is going to do come that time. So these early months of the season, October, November, December, big months for the Chicago Bulls team. Hopefully they can stack some wins ahead of those, the back half of the year there, January, February, and what could happen with this team moving forward in terms of the moves. So I want to thank you guys for joining me again on another episode of Bulls Latest. Let me know what you think of the departure of Yuki. I know it's a tough blow. He was a fan favorite here, tough blow for Bulls fans to see. Trenton Flowers, do you think he will amount to anything? We'll continue to follow that two-way signing. Zach Collins, what are the thoughts there from Bulls Nation? Love to hear from you guys on that. And then the season preview. Do you agree with some of these things that I threw at you guys today? What do you expect from this Bulls team moving forward? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this team. Super excited to get Bulls basketball underway. Regular season ball is just under a couple days away here. The NBA season will kick off tomorrow. Super excited about that. Thanks again for joining me, guys, and we will talk to you tomorrow.